Namaste. Today I wish to read something, a small passage from a wonderful book of the Mother, The Supreme Discovery. We have mentioned about it in our Hindi sharing on Mother and Sri Aurobindo's life. But actually it is untranslatable. So I thought that let's read it in, because it's a wonderful meditation, wonderful reflection. And given the times that we are going through, it is something we need to not just read, but to absorb it, let it be soaked inside, let it surround our life, and let it be like a beacon light for our entire journey. We'll just read it and meditate upon it. Listen, my child, my little child, you who today feel so broken, so fallen perhaps, who have nothing left, nothing to cover your misery and foster your pride. Never before have you been so great. What a strange truth she is revealing to us. When we have become nothing, reduced to ashes, then, like the phoenix, we can rise from the ashes, rise from the pyre, and ascend towards the glorious summits. How close to these summits is he who awakens in the depths? For the deeper the abyss, the more the heights reveal themselves. This is what we have to remember when we find ourselves sometimes in a state of darkness. Instead of despairing, we should now look up to the ascent, because there is nothing further that we can lose. There is nothing further that we can be reduced to. And we are in a state when humility becomes natural. And that's the point when we experience this state of utter humility, in total humiliation, that we are ready for the great ascent. If ordeal or fault has cast you down, if you have sunk into the nether depths of suffering, do not grieve. What she is advising us, not to get caught up into depression, grief and suffering and sorrow. For there indeed the divine love and the supreme blessing can reach you. We don't have to be in a special place, in a special environment for the divine love to reach us. It has reached Draupadi when she was in the midst of the Kuru Sabha. When she was facing this entire, in the whole Mahabharata, there is no point, no state which can be called as worse. The state of humiliation. And the divine love reaches her there. So it can reach us wherever we are. Because, not only that, she says one step further, because you have passed through the crucible of purifying sorrows, the glorious ascents are yours. So all suffering, all difficulties, challenges of life, they come to purify us. And if we take them as, instead of, feeling helpless, broken, if we take them as purifying ordeal, then we will go through them and emerge wiser and stronger. You are in the wilderness. Then listen to the voices of the silence. The clamor of flattering words and outer applause has gladdened your ears. But the voices of the silence will gladden your soul and awaken within you the echo of the depths, the chant of divine harmonies. So we are so lost in the flattery. We all the time want people to praise us, and whether it be our little family or larger circle, human beings want to be surrounded by those who flatter. And they want to keep away those who can be even little bit critical. Whatever it be, says that, when all these have dimmed, when all this is taken away from us, we can no more hear the claps and the applause of the crowd. Then we should be ready to hear the voice of the silence. And what will we hear there? The divine harmonies and the divine rhythms, the chant of divine harmonies. You are walking in the depths of night. Then gather the priceless treasures of the night. In bright sunshine, the ways of the intelligence are lit. When we are surrounded by light, then we experience the growth of light within us. Our intelligence is illumined. But in the white luminosities of the night lie the hidden paths of perfection, the secret of spiritual riches. But night opens the door towards perfection. It shows us what are the weak spots to be worked upon. It shows us, like stars in the night, those little points that we must work upon and bring light there. So we can say that daytime is like the sunshine, the white light of Maheshwari, whereas in the night it is the work of Mahasaraswati which goes on, and that's why this age, the age of Kali Yuga, is also called as the age of Mahasaraswati. She is the most, because she is working on all the details towards perfection. You are being stripped of everything. That is the way towards plenitude. When everything is snatched away from us, things that we held dear, things that we held that indispensable, when they are taken away from us, then is the time, that is the time when the divine, if we are really take it as a blessing and a grace, then the divine will fill us with a divine plenitude. That's why we have this line in Savitri, all aims in her were lost, then found in her. That's what we see, that when Ashwapati has to go through in pursuit of the unknowable, when he has to go through that state when everything of his mind, life and body are stripped away, that's when he nears the Divine Mother, who gives him back everything but new made and new built. Because for those who are sincere and true, this is the condition. Because for those who are sincere and true, from the worst always comes the best. This is the story of the Pandavas, this is the story of Rama, this is the story of the worlds, and this is the story of every human being who even makes a little effort to be true and sincere in his aspiration and seeking. Out of the worst, the best comes out. Every grain that is sown in the earth produces 1,000. Sown in the earth, meaning thereby that it is given to darkness. It goes into the womb of darkness. And for a moment it is lost to light. But it eventually comes out and brings thousands of its kind. Every wing beat of sorrow can be a soaring towards glory. And when the adversary pursues man relentlessly, everything he does to destroy him only makes him greater. And when we are relentlessly pursued by adversity, by difficulties, by all that we regard as problem, it is then that actually we are ready for the very highest. And finally she says, and if no being in all the universe is as frail as man, really if you look at man, so frail, a virus can make it fall. And yet, that's not what we should look at. We should look at something else, because there is no being in the universe who can unite with the divine and even hold the whole creation within him. So there are two sides of man, as Sri Aurobindo says, materially you are nothing, spiritually you are everything. So she says, and if no being in all the universe is as frail as man, neither is any as divine as he. And in the end she writes, reveals this great truth. In truth, in humiliation lies the cradle of glory. When the whole world has thrown us away, we have become an outcast, that is the time when we can have the true ascent towards the true glory of God. Because before that, we are only seeking human praise and human glory. But when all that is taken away from us, we are on the road filled with humiliation. That poem of Tagore, Jaake tumi bohite chaho apar premer bhar, he whom you want to bear the burden of universal love, in one stroke you take away all his coatings, all that he is wearing, his defenses, all that he is using as a shield against his true self and the world. Suddenly in one go, you take away all these things, and nude he stands on the middle of the road with not a roof, not a shelter, neither his name nor his wealth is with him. Alone he stands naked in this wide, wide universe. Why? So that thou alone can come and take him completely in your arms and make him entirely his. So, with these beautiful thoughts, we will close today.